Did we succeed this time?
We're
Easy
live.
days, tonight's adventures, and welcome back to the world of Fractured Shadows. Uh, I'm Sans, and this is everyone. We have been putting off this episode for a while, and I apologize. Tonight we begin a game in a world created by this very table. This is a little too upbeat for this. In a world basically where during World War II, everything changed. All of this information is in our session zero, but the sum is that supernaturals are publicly known. Uh, they have their very own nation that was carved out in South America, uh, around what was once Brazil, and is still Brazil. And Sao Paulo is still the capital. But the humans of the world have turned against supernaturals. We are in the year 1961. Our group recently gotten together to are currently flying across the world in not that much of an older plane. It probably rolled off the line like 18 years ago during the war. She's sturdy, she's reliable. The boxcar, considered one of the best planes of the world wars, uh, and favored by our very own Air Force in the Americas. But since we had a session zero last time and everyone got to meet each other, we're gonna have a quick tour around the plane. Uh, Currently over the Atlantic. And I'd love for everyone to introduce themselves and the character and what they look like and what they're currently doing on the plane. Let's start with RJ.
Um, so Lieutenant, former Lieutenant Eugene Edwards, sits in a very, simple outfit. He's got an old army jacket on, um, and underneath he's wearing the button down and trousers common to the Greatest Generation. Um, he seems a bit nervous. He has his arms crossed, um, and is kind of holding on to his strap in the plane. He doesn't seem to be a fan of air travel, and his eyes are looking around, perhaps staring off into space, maybe disassociating. Um, yeah, he's a gentleman in his late 30s. Slicked pomade hair, in relatively good shape. Um, and maybe sometimes he'll take out a pipe and play with his pipe before putting it back into his jacket pocket.
We're gonna blow right past the phrasing on that. Uh, the play with the pipe? What kind of pipe? Is it a smoking pipe?
It's a tobacco pipe,
Okay.
like in the picture.
Okay, he just pulls it out and fiddles with it. He doesn't.
He's just fiddling with it. He's just exhibiting a lot of nervous behavior.
Okay. I feel that. Uh, it's a jostle through the plane. One of the many things that likely triggers some of your anxiety. Uh, these planes, while reliable, were not exactly known for their smooth rides. Uh, just reliable rides. How about Father Calloway?
So, Father Calloway is standing near the jump door, uh, for once not wearing his jacket on his shoulders like a cape. He actually has his arms in it, and he is completely the opposite of Lieutenant Eugene. He loves if he doesn't know if it's because of his awakening, he doesn't understand, but he feels at home flying. He's currently saying a prayer, but more in a joyful, gleeful way as he's looking over everyone else sitting. This isn't the first time he's probably jumped out of an airplane and probably won't be the last if they need to. Uh he is relatively older than the rest of the party significantly, being 45, gray hair, uh royal blue eyes. Um the thing that he also has is a medical kit with him, but this medical kit does not look like any like normal military medical kit. It's got bandages with prayer scriptures on them, and his like alcohol like disinfectant is probably more holy water than alcohol. As he is pumped up to be in this plane. As he also fiddles with this medallion that's around his neck in a language that, if anybody's looking, most of them can't speak.
My brain short circuited at the realization that you were still in the three-piece
Yep,
suit priest's outfit
yep,
uh, and strapping on a parachute.
yep. Just do it. He was military. I didn't really cover branch. I'm
Hey, if
probably
yeah,
airborne.
if he got airborne certified, that's cool.
He so he's standing near the jump door, one hand on that handle, looking at everyone else, waiting for that light to go off if they do need to jump.
And I think we go now from the old war veteran who's like ready to just do his shit to the 12-year-old. Hootie?
Okay. So Peter is a 12-year-old boy, and he is currently sitting toward the back of the plane in a seat, and in front of him, he has a chalk circle that was drawn out, and within that chalk circle is his fairy godmother, who is currently teaching him. He's in school. So he went ahead and summoned her so that he could be in school. She is teaching him, either math or, nature, whatever she's teaching today. But he's focused on his studies. Um, and he's, this is a typical behavior for him. He's supposed to go to school every day. That's what his parents say. So that's what he'll do. Kind of not paying attention to what's going on in the rest of the plane and paying attention to his instructions. He's about 5'4", and wearing what looks like a school uniform, um, but it's not. It's just what he wears.
Interesting. I think you're having a geometry lesson right now. Um, not just geometry. She also starts teaching you about terminal velocity, uh, aerodynamics.
So the lesson is how to survive jumping out of a plane. Got it.
Yes. She never phrases it like that, though. But she generally teaches you things that you need to learn right before doing something possibly dangerous.
Okay.
Sometimes she instigates those potentially dangerous things. Uh, there's going to be child endangerment in this. Yeah, it's going to happen. Warning tag. We should put that on every descriptor.
Yeah, especially since we do have a player character that is a 12-year-old in
Yes,
game.
yes. That is a warning tag that will go everywhere. But your lessons continue. Demon.
Demon the demon. Now, Gabriel will probably just be sitting in his chair. Same appearance as he normally would. Except if you catch his eye right, there's probably like a flicker of. If Calloway's looking, malicious intent. If anybody else, it's morbid curiosity. Um, and it's just kind of a coldness about him, like in the air.
Let's do an actual description of him too, though, just for those who didn't watch the session 0.
Yeah, so about middle aged, about 22 years old. Short.
Motherfucker, what did you just say?
I think 22. No, he's not 22, is he? I forget what I wrote.
That is not middle
You
age.
say middle-aged?
It is for World War II.
No, it's not.
No.
People lived to be 70 back then. That's not middle aged.
All right. So young adult, 22 years old, icy blue eyes, and on his chest is a black, almost Vanta black crow going across his chest.
The darkest black in the world.
Yep, that one.
Seems to absorb all light around it. No sign of the white raven that previously accompanied him. Aside from the black one now on his chest.
Mm-hmm.
Delightful. Zeraj.
Right. So Connor is just kind of sitting, probably with some space between him and the others. And he is a 5'9", curly, red-haired young Irishman with green eyes. Currently, he has a fairly tough-looking leather jacket on, except it's been modified with various pouches and pockets to carry various utilities and tools. And he kind of rolled up one of the sleeves where you can see some of the Celtic tattooing on his arms, but it's more notable. You could see burn scars of Celtic knots on his hands themselves. And right now he has some pliers, and he's actually shaping some links of chain at the moment. But it looks like each chain are various Celtic knot patterns chained together, and looks like he might be crafting some bracelet. But as he continues to craft, he gets kind of angrier and angrier. The turbulence of the plane doesn't seem to bother him at all, as he's just expertly bending and shaping metal. But as the bracelet finishes, he's just completely angry and not sure why. But then he kind of mushes this bracelet up and starts anew, starts afresh, and just continues in this pattern throughout the ride, never actually completing a single bracelet.
The plane rumbles and hums, rattles and lurches. We are approaching winter, and you are near the Himalayas. Quite a bit of turbulence. And while I absolutely love the idea of having you all jump out of a plane in session one, the plane makes a landing at an airfield about 2 miles outside of Kathmandu, where you will need to find information about the location of the factory and a guide to get you up there. The pilot lands, he does his job adequately. It's a little jarring, little bumpy. And the back ramp is let down for all of you to disembark.
Calloway takes off the parachute, kind of disappointed, as he hangs it up, and then proceeds to grab his duffel bag and head off the plane.
Everyone else joining?
Yeah. Eugene,
Assume
go ahead.
assuming my lessons are over, yes, I will join.
Yeah, Connor will definitely put on probably a outer coat so it's as if it's cold, then grab his bag and head out.
Lieutenant Eugene will also head out, and when he touches terra firma, you can see him visibly relax.
Gabriel will follow out with his pack.
With his pack? Oh, like a backpack?
Yep. It'll have all of his little instruments that he needs for his magic.
I see. It's chilly time.
Uh, we're in Nepal.
You have some information with you. Do you have layouts? Well, you have old blueprints. This is the first floor of the factory. Or, factory is not the right word, the base. There is also a second floor.
Oh,
You have a basic location of where it's supposed to be. You need to locate it, infiltrate it, and rescue the supernaturals that are being held captive inside.
All right, here's where we find out who's the best at navigating.
yeah. Where we figure out everybody's role in this team.
How do I have no survival? Why did I build this character in this way? What have I done?
Trust me, I had to go change a few things around, figuring out old military veteran. I get it.
I just have a single dot in survival.
You know what? He's an officer. He doesn't need to know things.
That's fair.
Straight to the military out of college.
Also, the backstory of the character and what you went through kind of also makes sense.
Yeah. And he's got a high perception, so he's, naturally good at navigating.
So we need to find it first. So we got to go talk to some locals, and hopefully not get caught for what we are.
Well, I don't much speak Tibet. Does anyone here?
I don't even speak Portuguese. And you expect me to speak the Nepal language?
And your English is a little funny too.
I don't remember what the language one is in this.
In Kathmandu?
No, I meant like because I know in World of Darkness that a certain knowledge skill, at least in second edition, was like you had linguistics and stuff like that that gave you additional languages for every dot. I don't know
Yeah.
what it is.
Now.
Yeah, but also, if anybody has the mind sphere, you can use that to learn the language.
Yeah.
I can.
A lot of that.
I have
I
something
have-
I can do.
I have 2 dots in that. Okay, but I'm interested in
Oh.
what you've got.
I just realized I couldn't learn languages pretty easily because I know naming.
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
You are literally the group of supernaturals capable of infiltration.
Well, let's post up in what passes for a bar around these parts, and I'll see what I can pick up.
You make your way down to Freak Street.
Oh, okay.
Which is also where you can find, supernaturals to be hiding out.
Okay. Question I have then, Sans, due to I have been with the SEU long enough, do I know of a safe house in Nepal where we're at? or
Yes.
Okay.
So
Then
there's
that's yeah,
SLU.
so SLU. Then that is the first place I would take us to drop off our stuff and get what we can information from the resistance that is here.
Outstanding. Uh, it's not so much a resistance here as like a way station to get supernaturals through this area. Uh,
More like an
Freak,
underground railroad kind of thing.
yeah, a little bit. Freak Street itself is kind of a safe haven. It's where you can find some of the mages who are still living in the area, and they're doing so secretly. They've got a little shop set up here. It's where the safe houses are. So you guys find a little like 2-bedroom place. There are floor futons, a fire pit. It's not a lot, but it is a space to work from.
Okay. I I would ask what they know of factory base in the location with who's ever running it. They probably don't know a lot because we don't have a lot of information, but any little bit at least gives us a direction to go of who might.
If you want to try to dig up some information, I'm going to need an investigation check.
Perfect. Not that great. It's not for at least Calloway, but it's an investigation,
Okay.
intelligence investigation.
Uh, or charisma investigation.
I will take intelligence. And due to I don't have an investigation, that's a too higher difficulty. Let's go.
Has anyone on your team got investigation?
Yeah, it is. Does anybody here actually know how to
I can
do
assist
some?
with this, yes.
I've got 1 dot.
Sorry, I was finishing paying back a friend for EDC Vegas.
Oh, you're good.
What's the rule?
Intelligence investigation or charisma investigation. Because if somebody that has more dots can get a help from, then our
I'm thinking I'm gonna try and pull the language at least and package it and put it in everyone's heads. I'm on a new computer, so I don't have my books on here. So give me a minute while I figure out how to construct this spell. It's been a minute.
So I actually have that open for you if you would like, because I literally bookmarked in my book how to cast spells.
You won't have to do it for Gabriel, though.
Okay.
So, the to figure out the difficulty of it is we need to know if this is coincidental, vulgar without witness, or with vulgar with witness.
I think if we're doing this inside the safe house, we can do it without witness at the very least. How it's done will determine coincidental or
Okay.
vulgarity.
Yes. So how are you attempting to do this?
I think he's gonna sit in there and he's just gonna project his mind out like a web over the city and just, for like an hour or two, focus on the communication, the transfer of information, um, and then just let his awareness trace those tendrils back to all the language lessons sitting on mom's knee, etc., and just sort of slightly withdraw, not pulling anything away, but just withdraw it and create it as a little package and pull it into his mind.
Okay. I would call that coincidental. You're taking a long time to do it. You're not just trying to like touch someone and assimilate all of their knowledge in a single go. Uh,
Okay. So
It's
what
more,
is your
yeah, it's more taking a little bit from a lot of sources, a drop instead of, a drink.
yeah.
okay? Okay, so with that, because this helps all mages, uh, what is your sphere ranking of mud?
4.
Okay, so it would be 4 plus 3 for the difficulty, which would be 7. But you said you were taking additional time, which okay. Are you using a personal instrument to do this? Do you have an instrument built for mine?
I wrote these all down somewhere. I'm just looking through my sheet. Sorry, guys.
No.
No, it's very important to understand how your magic functions.
Yeah. This also helps me that I haven't done spell casting. There are people, literally Hootie and Colton are the only ones that have done magic before. So walking through this in the first session also helps all our viewers understand how magic is cast.
Yeah, he's going to use 2 of his instruments, which are body work and gestures and poses. So he's going to be doing a number of breathing exercises while sitting in some meditation positions, um,
Okay.
and unlocking his chakra, as it were.
Okay. Then you spent extra time on this. So that would because you can only have a max minus or plus modifier of 3, which means makes your difficulty 4 on an error table.
Okay, so I roll
You roll your
difficulty 4 on Arate.
yep.
I'm actually going to reduce that difficulty by one further than that because of the area that you're in.
Okay, so then that would be 3 successes.
Yes.
You acquire so many languages. So, of the ethnic groups hanging out in the area, are the Kaz Arya, the Chitri, the Baun, the Thukri, the Sannyasa, the Magars, the Tharu, the Tamang, the Kami, the Musulman, the Nawar, the Yadav, the Rai, uh, and like one or two northern Chinese speakers, or southern Chinese speakers, excuse me, Cantonese. Uh, you speak all of the local dialects.
Okay, and then um, I'll try that out. And then once I feel like that little language seed is ready for transmission, I will also then take my time to give it to the other members of the team.
One more roll, please. Same difficulty.
Same difficulty.
Ah,
So it would be set it to difficulty 3, right? Because you said it's one lower for the area.
yes.
2 successes.
It's not a flawless transfer of knowledge, but I will say that everyone can speak well enough local dialects to move about, if not have a detailed and in depth conversation.
Good work, Lieutenant.
Would you please describe what everyone feels as you give them this magic? What's that look like for you?
Um, there's an acrid smell, the smell of flesh being burned by electricity, um, the taste of adrenaline and fear on your tongue, um, and a sense of control riding over all of it, as um, suddenly, like having a name come to the tip of your tongue after searching for it, um, words and translations start to unspool in your mind. Um, and it's done with care, precision, the feeling of someone maybe taking care of a wristwatch, hanging their clothes very neatly, making sure they're pressed. Um, but it, there's after the initial fear, disgusting pain combo sort of washes away, the sense of control over that um, unfurls in your mind along with all of these new words.
What an experience for all of you.
Well, knowing the language will make it a lot easier to talk to these people.
That it will.
Oh,
Who
so
is
that's
the
how you
leader
pick.
here?
The leader at
I, bel
Nepal?
I believe it's the 45-year-old captain is the leader of us.
No, I meant the one here in this establishment.
Oh, my
Your
bad.
2-bedroom safe house?
Are there not people here that are also
No.
supernatural?
Oh no, there are, but you have to go out and find them with
The, the,
investigation checks.
the person that is effectively providing the safe house is the information that we got, the old blueprints, and they
Yes.
set up a place for us to operate out of. That's all we have. Unless we go and talk, which is why we need your investigation
Okay.
with the help of the 12-year-old child to
All right. Well, I'll do my intelligence investigation check then.
I don't know how the help action works in this edition. I know it for 5e BPM.
It's just a combined successes roll sort of dealio.
Okay.
Well, that did not roll my intelligence.
No, it did not.
Did now. Yay. 3 successes total. +2 from the kiddo.
Excellent. So 5 successes in total.
Correct.
Yes.
So you head out into Freak Street. There's the local languages and dialects kind of downloaded into your brain. Uh, People are going about their days selling their wares. Kathmandu is a lively city, even in this time. How does your investigation work? What does Colt do to investigate?
He's going to look for bleak signs of the supernatural, whether that's minor casting of magic in the air, or if it's a common fey trait that he would have seen throughout his years. But he would also let his avatar use his intuition to luckily stumble upon somebody he would need to find.
For Peter's assist, Peter will talk to other children about you know, stories. Like oh yeah, there's an old man who lives in that house and he's a witch. That kind of stuff. Like So that's how Peter's assisting. It's by talking to children about local folklore, basically.
So, do you mind if I roll a combined perception intuition roll with the investigation?
Yes.
9 successes.
Wow.
You, with your combined 5 successes already, you would have found them. Fuck my life. Real quick, someone remind me of the full wording of intuition.
I don't remember. I don't have it on this one. Let me go see if I can find it in the stats in the book I have open because again, I just have magic open at the current moment.
No, I think it's a demon specific one.
Oh yeah, I don't have the
It
demon book open.
is. I'm finding the demon book.
That is not my job this time. Yet.
It's not demon specific. The Kinane have it as well. So it is both demon and fae. I'm looking it up also.
Yeah, it's not something I have in the mage one. But I believe normally intuition is gut feeling.
Players can call for an intuition roll when they get stuck or need to make a decision quickly. It's the ability to roll when a character makes a decision largely at random, like whether to cut the red, green, or blue wire, or picking the right way out of a maze while running away from something.
So it is a gut feeling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That still technically makes sense in this situation. Because the supernatural creatures would definitely be hiding at this time.
They certainly would be. Gabriel, with some quick nosing about, looking for symbols, recognizing markings, you do notice some mage and Farah markings on one building in particular. It's around that time when Peter is talking to a group of local children who are playing a game, who start calling Peter Golden Hair and kind of dancing around, laughing and playing with him. Uh, they're singing like a nursery rhyme almost, Peter. Like you ask them about supernatural stuff and their response wasn't like an adult's response. They started singing to you about a local urban legend about the Yeti, about how they will help those true of heart as long as they don't hurt the mountains.
Okay. Um, and would I find the Yeti in the mountains?
Yes.
Is there a
There
song about the Yeti?
I don't actually have a song about the Yeti. Uh,
No, no, I get that. I'm just is there like a, walk 3 miles, then turn left at the second dead cat, and there you'll find the Yeti kind of thing?
no, not entirely, but the song does talk about the different types of Yetis, the Yalmo, the Chuti, and the Rongshim Bombo. I One with black fur, one with white, and one with brown fur are the three types of Yetis. And you also understand that Yeti in Tibet, it kind of means rock bear, right? Or cattle bear or man bear, depending on where the dialect is from. And you're kind of translating all of that at once in your head. It also means snowman or wild man.
Okay. Um, so I guess I'll finish playing with the kids, and then I will return to the safe house to report what I've learned about Yetis. Who can
Before
I
you
can I
go,
can I make a logical leap?
uh, maybe
I guess it'd probably be in a cult role, but I mean, the player suspects what this is, and the character would know about them, being where we're from. Um, I think that we're hearing legend lore about werewolves.
possibly I will accept an intelligence occult roll. Uh, could be.
5 successes.
5 success.
You know that there are werewolves that fit that description. Absolutely. Uh, there's a tribe of werewolves that fits that description really kind of well. Uh, hard to know for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, I'll go ahead
You hope
and
they're not Wendigos.
huh?
You hope they're not Wendigos.
Oh yeah, that would suck. But yeah, so you said before I leave.
One of the children grabs you by the shoulder and leans in and whispers, "But if you hurt the mountain, they'll eat you up." And then the children scatter.
It reminds me of that one
Okay.
Skyrim episode, the creepy one for the kid. The creepy child from Whiterun. Yeah, those vibes.
Now, the intuition roll. The intuition roll from Alabaster. There is a space in the side of the building not through the obvious front door. There's another doorway inside the alley of the building. It is where the supernatural marks are over, and likely how you actually get in to speak with the people who live there in hiding.
I'm gonna lean into. I'm gonna head back to the group at the safe house and just mention. I think I found the location of people that are here in hiding.
Okay. If you'll take me, I'll go talk to them.
That's the thing. I don't believe we should all approach in one big group. It's a door hidden in an alley. It would be pretty obvious.
Okay. So we stick to small teams, only leaving when we have to. How we also go unnoticed.
Did anybody else find anything?
I learned about Yetis, which frankly sound an awful lot like werewolves, but um, apparently there's some Yetis in the mountains, and they'll help us if we don't harm the mountain. But if we harm the mountain, then they're gonna get pissed and eat us.
And where did you hear this from?
Local children.
There's likely truth to it then.
Very likely truth. Children are
And
far more acceptable to our kind.
yeah, and I'll describe the there were brown Yetis and black Yetis and white Yetis, and they had different names, and I don't remember what those names were. So Sans, could you remind us?
Let me pop open the list. The Nialmo, the Chuti, and the Rangshin Bambo.
Okay. There, even in storybooks, through what I've read, there are mention of Yeti, Bigfoot. All of those legends exist, and we do know from the wide information we have at SLU that these tend to follow similar traits to werewolves.
It's best if we actually avoid them entirely.
Probably. They're probably keeping. They are probably also guarding themselves and others around here. But
If they're
we do
especially
need to
attached to the mountain, then they'll probably stay at the mountain. Let's evacuate the ones that are here in the city.
that's we need to focus on our mission first, which is getting those out of the base. And if we can't get any information out of the ones you found, we may have no choice but to go talk to the ones on the mountain.
Agreed.
So we keep to that plan. Only a few of us go talk to the ones you found. We come back with any information and form a plan from there. Keep our heads low. Don't do anything that's gonna cause people to go talk to authority figures that come around here. Anybody that could be hostile towards our kind, we stay secretive. We move only when we need to.
Okay, so what is actually the plan? What's up first?
I think that me, Craft, and possibly one other person should go talk to the symbols, the people at the symbol place that he found. Does anyone else feel comfortable going and talking to people?
I wouldn't mind shooting the breeze.
Okay. So me, Eugene, and give me a second.
Well, it doesn't have to be all of us separating permanently. If we stagger and make it less apparent, that should work just as fine as well.
That's fair.
Um, I'm hungry. Is there any food here?
Well,
I
I
try.
haven't been able to find a decent cheeseburger, but let's see if we can't catch up some grubs for it.
So, Eugene, you're offering to babysit the kid?
Babysit? No. Hell, we're going on an adventure. Isn't that right, Chief?
Okay. I was just thinking lunch, but if you want to make it adventure lunch, okay, adventure lunch.
I think it's an adventure if we're gonna try whatever passes for food around these parts.
Okay. So it looks like Eugene and Peter are gonna go find out what causes for food. Me and Gabriel are gonna go talk to these additional people. Connor, what are you planning to do?
I think I was going to secure our hideaway a bit. Maybe put some enchantments. Make sure we're hidden and protected.
Sounds good to me. Alrighty. Everybody's got their things they're gonna do. Let's split up, get them done, meet back here in a little bit.
Amazing. So, as far as food, there are a number of street vendors that make very basic things like samosa, kachori, sell roti, pagoda, aloo chop. There's a fish fry vendor, jerry puri kuri, jerry swari, donuts, malpua. Uh, it is all kind of like semi-sweet breads. Some of them packed full of like rich spices, cardamom, curries. It's very South Asian fare.
Um,
And of course, grilled river fish.
I think we should stick to the fish.
Okay, fish is good. That fish fry place over there smells good. Let's eat there.
I think you've got the nose for it. Lead the way.
All
Awesome.
right, so we're going to the fish fry place, and we're gonna get Asian fish and chips.
Which it's in the 1960s is just grilled fish and potatoes.
Excellent.
uh, Actually, probably turnips. Like fried turnips, if I'm honest.
I
But
mean,
it's
it was
still
the
a
40s and the 50s. We loved a turnip. Everyone
yeah,
loved a turnip.
yeah.
Ooh, this one's got some sort of pepper on it.
It does. Yes, that is accurate. It's probably clove, if I'm honest. Uh, the spice palette that is currently assaulting you, Edwards, is not the American Spice Palette right now.
No.
It is barely the American Spice Palette now. I do love curry though. You get food. It's delicious grilled fish and potatoes. I'm gonna slide away from there as he kind of hands you plates. There's a little space for you to sit down and eat. You're not handed any utensils, but you are given some like grilled flatbread.
It's like make your own sandwich. You put the fish and the potatoes on the flatbread.
Ziraj knows. Guam guam. And I think we're gonna slide away from the food vendor. Past Father Calloway and Kraft and who else was going?
That was it.
Making making their way making their way downtown.
Walking fast.
Down Freak Street. Yeah. Faces past. You're not homebound, unfortunately.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Heading down the alley, and a door becomes visible the closer you get to it. It just sort of fades into view. And I'm gonna get canceled for this. Oh, hello! Come in!
I
After you, Father.
He walks in.
Inside is a very comfortable looking room. All sorts of cushy pillows scattered around the floor, lots of rugs laid down. It is warm, and there's a man sitting crisscross with his legs up in the super crazy lotus pose, bald completely on his head, the longest goatee you've ever seen. Only the goatee is like full of curly black and gray hair, so it's really bushy too. Uh, and it just goes down to like mid chest on this ancient looking man who is still covered in like corded knot like muscles that also appear supple. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Please have a seat.
Calloway, not being impolite, will sit down.
Tell me, what are you doing?
Oh. We're here to help some people.
That is what you are going to do. Right now, you are sitting.
What I'm going to do is ask questions to try to find these people that I'm going to help.
Of course. You have trouble staying present, don't you?
Yeah, we could
This
say
is
that.
not Calloway's first interaction with a member of the Akashic Brotherhood. I can't imagine he enjoys it ever.
He doesn't. He doesn't. That is why he is trying to get to the point as quickly as possible. Yeah, I like to stay busy. We are looking for this base holding people. Gifted people. Do you have any information where this place might be?
holding them against their will?
Yes.
Hmm. Nearby, in the mountains, there is such a place. But why did you bring a Rakshasa into my sanctuary? And he just sort of like snaps his head to look at Colt. Not Colt,
Gabriel.
Kraft. Excuse me, Gabriel Kraft.
Due to I have the package now of understanding what that is, what does that mean?
That part was very vague and not really filled out.
Okay. A what? As Father Calloway is now staring at Gabriel with intent.
Mind your tongue, I'm here to help.
Oh. I did not realize I had disrespected you. What are you doing here, Deva?
I'm here to assist in bringing these people back. And do you know anyone who would have been taken there?
There are many I was not able to protect.
Do you have any names or items that these people would have owned?
I do not possess anything of theirs. But I know who do. There are werewolves in the mountain. We call them Vera.
Calloway is still staring holes in Gabriel.
Well, I don't think you have a camera or I'd tell you to take a picture. Where are these
No.
werewolves in the mountains?
They will find you. They won't be able to resist it.
Then we just wait. Thank you for your help. Calloway will stand, give the proper goodbye greeting, whatever it is.
Did I help?
More than you know.
Hmm.
And Calloway will walk out the door first.
Were any of your friends
the
or
boy-
family taken?
I have not had any family for many decades. He looks ancient.
Not even a
The boy
student?
you are possessing.
Yes.
Will you release him?
We are under an agreement and a contract.
Ashura, do not prey on those under my protection.
Well, Gladly he is not prey.
You may go now.
Yeah, Gabriel will just leave.
Ashura, if you prey on anyone in Kathmandu, I will know. You feel a tiny fragment of this mage's powers. He is currently devoting the entirety of his power to keep up a mental effect, protecting supernaturals to come and go from this safe house without being seen by the mortals, using mind magic. It is the sole focus of his inner power right now. And if he were to stop doing that, you think he might be able to give you a run for your money.
Cool, cool, cool. But currently it's an
He's
empty
probably
threat. I have no intention on preying on yours. With that, Colt will just, or Gabriel will leave.
Calloway is standing outside staring at him. Shall we chat?
No, I would prefer not. We have an idea of where we need to go.
I prefer we do before we go any further.
Don't push it.
Don't dare push me.
I haven't.
No, but I didn't know what you were until now.
Pretend like you never found out.
Yeah, that's
And
a
with
little
that,
harsh.
Gabriel will walk past him back towards the safe house.
Before we get back to the safe house, I'd like to find out what Connor was up to.
Oh, I am currently chiseling away at one of the walls, and
Okay.
I am actively trying to put some of my glamour into a runic imprint of just the word hide and don't look at me and various similar synonyms. I am because of my imparted language, I am doing this writing in the local dialects as well as putting my own artistic flares with some forms of various Celtic knots and also trying to incorporate some of the local symbols and imagery. Yeah, but for the most part, I'm just kind of making a pretty large artworks of rune and language just to try to make this hideout more unnoticeable, more hidden, hard to scry, or people might avert their gaze. This is the main intentions.
Okay, so this feels like scene.
Yeah, which I do have two, which is about size of a cottage.
Yeah. And a bit of prop. Yeah, it's scene and prop for this mostly.
Okay.
And Holy crap, it's been a minute. Do you roll glamour?
I roll my art, I guess, and then the
Right.
realm, what you mentioned was prop and scene. And then difficulty is based on the bunk, how I could further lower the glamour or the difficulty, I think.
Mhm.
Thank you for the
Which
follow, Jade.
I think the bunk I
Hello.
naming bunks. Meticulous ritual focused on wordplay, songs, writing. Write a
Mhm.
novel to burn its only copy. Write names in threes, stuff like that. But I was my main bunk, I guess, is trying to make it more localized. But I still have my own personal pride and artistic flair. But yeah, trying to make this place more hidden. So
Yeah, it gives
whatever
you.
difficulty.
We're gonna call because you took your meticulous time. You're using your words. I like the idea of because a lot of Celtic knotwork works in threes and pairs. So like weaving those words into the knotwork while you carve them. Uh, yeah, give me a roll.
Okay. Then is it standard 8 difficulty? Or
We are gonna set this difficulty at a 6.
sure. I roll in now.
Insane. 5 successes. Cool. Uh, well, Connor, what does it look like as most mortals stop noticing this building exists?
Uh there as he chisels in the last detail, there'll be a kind of flame that ignites through initially Connor's tattoos, across the chisels, runic imprints, and then it kind of ignites the whole pattern across the inner wall of the hidehouse. Uh, and yeah, as it ignites in one big flash, I guess people just start avoiding this place. They don't necessarily actively ignore it, but they definitely seem completely uninterested now. It's even more part of the background, something they won't remember at the end of the day, something they won't even discuss or talk about. Yeah, and then but Connor kind of tilts his head as if he spotted some imperfection, and he's like, "Oh, I should have done that over there. Oh, this is no good, but it's doable, I guess. I, I'm actually a bit hungry. I hope they got something for me on their way back."
You hear the sound of a broom clattering to the ground behind you.
Okay,
Do you want to turn and look?
yeah, I will check it out.
Uh, there is. She's maybe 5'3". Adorable round face, a mass of dark hair, kind of done up in a really complicated braid, wrapped with cloth, wearing almost like a parka, almost. Uh, Aside from that, she has pale blue skin, uh, very pointed ears, bright purple eyes, but otherwise looks like a native. She's dressed like a native, uh, but she's tiny and kind of has like moving bits of cloth around her, almost like they're constantly being ruffled by a winter wind. Oh,
Oh, I didn't expect any company. Ooh,
well,
my
I
chubby.
live here.
You live here? Oh, then I am sorry for my intrusion, but we kinda need this place for a bit, if you don't mind the company.
I don't. Most people don't see me. Um,
Oh, well, I'm not most people. As he chuckles a bit, his eyes kind of flashes. But if we're to be living together, I guess, my name is Connor. Connor O'Sullivan. What might I call you?
you can call me Zash.
Well, it's mighty fine to meet you, Vash. Or is it Vash? Or Yash?
Zash.
Zash? Zash.
The
Oh,
Zash. Did I forget to put fucking archivist in? I did. Son of a bitch.
and am I speaking in the local tongue right now?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm getting used to the language here. But it is mighty fine, pleasant evening, Zash. And
Uh,
I have a bit
really,
more company coming too, and you'll meet them in time, I guess.
I need to pause you in front of
Yeah,
that.
sure.
Archivist, welcome. The group has landed in Nepal and found their safe house in Kathmandu. Uh, the group has split up at the moment. Three different groups actually. Uh, it's delightful. Uh, one group is investigating a local safe house where they met a guru, which is cliche and on the nose, but gonna lean into the theme. Uh, from the Akashic Brotherhood, who was clearly kind of frustrating, but that's how they be sometimes. The group consisted of Father Calloway and Gabriel Kraft. The other group, Lieutenant Edwards and Peter Knight, went for some food. They found a fish merchant uh, selling basically non and grilled fish. And Connor is now speaking with kind of a domovoy like spirit named Zashi. And now we can jump back in. I need someone's official job to be remind me about archivist.
Okay, I will
I'll set
put
an
that
alarm.
down. Yeah.
Thank you. But I am the spirit of this house.
Oh, I am deeply sorry to be
No, you're
carving up
fine.
your body then.
Oh, right. Yeah, that might have been a little rude. But I feel safer. That's nice. Thank you.
Um, yeah, and you got matching symbols like mine. I kind of show off my own tattoos, I guess.
Yeah, and as you say that, like words begin appearing on her in the different markings. I'm just gonna. It was really nice meeting you. I'm just gonna do back to work now.
Oh, okay. And once again, I apologize for the disturbance.
Oh no, it's fine. It's just weird being seen so completely.
Oh, the autumn and the dreaming, it's kind of bit of both. But we see what we see and we do
Oh,
what
the
we
dreaming,
do.
you're one of the changing people.
If that's what you call us here, sure.
That's the polite thing people here say. There are other things that are said too that are less polite.
Certainly, we live in such a world now, running from the hunters and the blasted evil of all kinds. Crazy
Oh,
thought, but I'll let you on your way. I need to
right.
do a bit of a touch up, but hope
Yeah,
but I
she kind of just goes back
oh,
to being the house. But she's also just there now. You can kind of see her.
yeah.
Uh,
Connor just
she's only
kind of cleans up his work.
yeah, she's like half insubstantial. Uh, and everyone else kind of gets back to the safe house at about this time.
Oh, and of course the magic put our group as exception, so they could actually find
Oh,
it.
good. That was my next question.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, it's a
So
little harder to find the safe house. It takes you like a little bit of time to find it again. Like it's your first time in Kathmandu, you know. That makes sense, right? We've got a tense walk between Gabriel and Father Calloway. Uh, we have a walk with delicious food, I think, with Edwards and Peter, if they were bringing anything back.
I mean,
Um,
that would be up that would be up to the adult. The kid's just gonna eat his food.
Fair.
yeah, he'll come in bearing a few like a basket of some stuff, like rice, some fish. Honest to God, they make this thing called fish sauce. I didn't ask many questions, but it sure is tasty.
Mhm.
I don't know if it goes on the fish or if it's made from fish, and frankly, I was scared to ask.
Well, I will try it with the rice. Thank you.
Uh,
Jesus.
Calloway will have some. Waiting to find a proper moment for him and Gabriel to talk.
Sure. There is also now, previously as mentioned, this half transparent blue girl just sort of hanging out in the safe house.
Well, good golly,
Honor.
Miss Molly. Who's this lady?
Oh, you can. Oh, you can
Oh,
all see me now?
yes.
oh,
Oh,
seems we have we're fellow guests of hers. It seems.
Connor, what did you do to the house?
Oh, I just did a bit of the weaving of the dreams, but she was already here before me.
I actually feel wonderful. Thank you, Connor. Hi, I'm Zashi, and it's weird to be perceived by so many of you at once. Um, I'm this home.
okay, that father calms down. Okay, that's far more explainable. Um, Has anyone around here been bothering you before us? Are you safe? He goes through the whole like slew spiel of like standard practice of do we need to find a way to move you, and if so, I have that's a write up in a report that Calloway doesn't want to have to do, but
No,
will if he needs to.
I've heard about everything that's been happening, but us spirits don't really seem to be being involved too much. We are kind of just the spirits of things.
Okay. Uh, Calloway calms down. Okay, spirits,
And
unless they're being used. Okay.
what do we call you, spirit?
Zashi,
Sashi, would it be too much to ask you for a favor?
I suppose that would depend on the favor.
There are Farah here in this city that it would benefit us greatly if they knew where we were and could approach us favorably.
What do you mean?
I know some of them are gifted enough to speak with the spirits. I was wondering if perhaps you could approach and find them for us.
I think Gabriel that this Sashi, sorry, is tied to the house. They can't leave.
No, but she could speak to the other spirits for us.
Zashi, do you know of any other spirits that you could talk to?
Well, I mean, I talk to the other house of spirits every day. That's how we pass knowledge around.
Could you then do us a different favor? There's a base somewhere around here kidnapping supernaturals and holding them against their will. We don't know what they're doing with them, and we would clearly like to remove them from captivity. Have you heard anything about that? From the other houses, from people that you've heard walk by?
Gosh, that's really sad. They're taking people?
From the information we have, yes.
Like against their will?
From what we have gleaned, yes.
Our team here is been handpicked for our infiltration values, and we would like to remove these people that are held against their will from their captors.
Oh, you mean like the stargazers?
Exactly, like the stargazers. Are you able to communicate with them?
Well, they were here a month ago.
Do you know of any of their current location? Has the spirits talked about that?
Well, no, but I think they've gone to this place that you're talking about. Because a lot of men in black outfits with masks busted in through one of the doors and dragged them out of here.
From this house?
Well, this is me, yeah.
That's not good.
Did you glean a name from their conversations? Do you know any of the names of these stargazers?
I remember the stargazers. One's name was Taisho. He was from Japan.
This will be of much help.
The other one's name. What was his name? I don't remember his name or what he looked like, and she twitches. Like her head just twitches quickly to the side and then back to normal.
Well, I was taught ways of recalling memories. I might be able to help you.
Can you?
Absolutely. Papa squat. And he'll sit down and assume a lotus position.
Be careful with the magic that you do with a spirit.
Oh, I won't be doing the magic. She will. They're her memories.
She settles down into lotus position in front of you.
I have a lot of meditation and manipulate training and also some lucid dreaming training. Can I walk her
Yeah.
through a guided meditation?
I like that, yes.
What shall you set the difficulty at?
We're gonna set this at a base difficulty of 7.
Okay. Well, we got one success.
You start the guided meditation. It's very basic. You take her back to when she first met them, start walking her through, focusing on fine details. Anything you can to ground her in the memories of these people. The two stargazers that were staying here were friends from different tribes who were only staying here temporarily. They had helped some others make it through kind of the pipeline to South America before they were heading back to their respective locations. And she's kind of describing this to you in summary. They were staying for a week to catch up and share news. It's dangerous to stay in one place for any amount of time, they said. But they were supposed to be safe here. They're safe here because Manish keeps them safe.
And who's this Manesh?
She smiles so brightly. He's the kind one that watches over the city, keeping everyone safe.
Remember the guru that we spoke of earlier?
I think I'm getting the same feeling you are.
It's him, I would assume.
Same.
They did something. I remember the door moving. I remember feeling something, and she twitches again in that same like rapid jerk way before returning to normal. It was high pitched, a like a ringing of a bell. Only the sound didn't move and crescend like a bell. It was just the height of the bell's note ringing solidly.
Sounds like a
She
concussive blast.
twitches again and her head moves more violently this time. And when she returns to her seated position, you can see that there is now what looks like what would look like to us circuitry. It's still not, you know, not a lot of people are familiar with circuitry in the 60s. Uh, just like by and by, especially circuitry in spirit flesh that you see in front of you. Only where the circuitry is crawling up her skin, kind of up her neck and onto her cheek, it looks like the blue tissue has necrotized to black and green, and her hair is darker now and oilier. But then she's just back to that sweet looking girl again. They did something to me. They came in with their guns. The stargazers didn't put up a fight. They got hit by something and they fell and they were taken. But I feel like myself again now, almost. Why was I telling them that you were here before?
We're about to have company.
What did
You did nothing wrong. Stay hidden.
Maybe we could, maybe you could focus on the people that you were telling about us, and I could give you a little nudge, and you could show us. Would that be all right?
if it will help you? I'll do
I'd,
it.
I'd like to conjure a mental illusion and pull the image of who she was speaking with or that memory and make it visible for all to see.
I am going to need an arete roll. Your base difficulty for this is going to start at a 10. This is vulgar magic, no witnesses.
Okie dokie. Back up to this. You've already set the difficulty to 10, which I think is what it would be normally. Vulgar without witness is your highest sphere of that you're using. So mind +4, so it would normally be 8, but you're adding additional consequences.
Yes.
Uh, cool.
I'll be using my instruments of bodywork and eye contact and tricks and illusions.
Bring it down to 9. Do you have a foci for your mind yet?
Like a ring or a necklace or an amulet or anything like that?
I would say probably his dog tags then. I don't have something for that. I don't know if we want to retcon that or not, but
That's up to you. You don't have to have a foci yet. You can develop those through play if you want, or you can already have them selected.
I think I think his dog tags would be a foci for him. So um, that'll
Okay,
take
so
down
they're
the
going to be the foci for your mind.
yeah.
Okay. So that's -2. You're down to difficulty 8. Uh,
You can use quintessence to lower it by 1 per quintessence.
yes.
I'm just marking down my foci. Hold on.
You're good. I'm looking through other things that may. So the question here is, does she count as a personal item from the target?
Eh?
So one of the tools or rituals, if you're using a personal item from the target, sympathetic magic, you could get a -1 to -3 difficulty on it.
It is a projection from her mind, but there is a force acting against you. So I'm going to negate the penalty it's causing via the sympathetic magic
Okay.
and reduce the difficulty by another 2.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to
I think
reduce it by
that's
1. Difficulty 7.
okay.
Difficulty 7.
I think that's doable. Dice don't fail me now. I got 2 successes.
2 successes. The barrier on her mind, the thing that is currently protecting her. You didn't really have any way to fully know this, as changeling magic and mage magic doesn't directly interact with one another. But Connor's runes protected her from the people that were using her as a spy. His 5 successes kind of broke her free of their control. You don't break or remove Connor's protections on her, but for a moment you do get past that kind of shield in her mind, and you see the like tortured spirit with the weird bits of technology like coursing through its flesh. Uh, the image is of several men in immaculately tailored military garb, black faceless helmets covered in some sort of flat black glass, sidearms, form fitting gloves. They look like something straight out of a James Bond spy movie. They come in and, with all the casual ease of seasoned hired killers, appear behind the stargazers in the image, put 2 shots of some kind in their back. The stargazers drop. There are darts in them, not bullet wounds. They are then collected into body bags and taken out of here. And once they are across the boundary of this place, she has no more memory of them.
Okay.
Could we see their faces clearly?
The stargazers? Yes.
No, the people that came in and darted them.
No, black faceless masks.
Got
They're
it.
wearing full helmets.
Okay.
Helmets? Like motorcycle helmets? Gas masks?
Yeah. Somewhere in between. They, like, in appearance, they are just flat black glass with a back on it, so they will look more like motorcycle helmets to you than anything else. But that is not their full purpose. Uh, they don't look like any motorcycle helmet you've ever seen, but they don't look like any gas mask you've ever seen either. It is sleek and on a different level of design than you are used to seeing anywhere. Except maybe something's stirring in the back of your memory that makes you really, really unhappy.
Eugene will move away from that memory.
Yeah, yeah.
He doesn't need that in his life right now.
And she collapses unconscious and sort of merges with the floor. And on that emotional uptick, I think we're gonna take our break here. And when we come back, you guys can decide what you're gonna do next, or whatever questions you might have next. She is still available to talk to, but she has like become one with the house again. But my bladder is about to explode, so I need to go.
All right, back in 10.
ET
one. Welcome back.
Indeed. Welcome back.
And we have sound on stream.
Huzzah! Thank you.
Welcome.
So, I'd like to return now to this scene. Uh, what does this projection look like? Is this like a full, like, picture projection? How do you share this image with everyone, RJ?
Um,
Tell me how your magic works.
yeah, I mean, I'm going with a psychic vibe. So, behind the scenes, it's just being beamed into people's heads, but it has the effect of um, looking like a real ghostly illusion. Like the sort of edges of everyone's vision kind of fade into to smoke, and as they focus on the image, they see this memory sort of played out in front of them like a hologram or a movie. Um, and yeah, that's kind of how it works.
Of this very brutal and efficient takedown and kidnapping, uh, you all kind of get to experience it in your minds. Uh, before the lieutenant turns away from the memory, uh, Kashi returns to being a house, fleeing from the memory. Uh, and you all have just had a lot happen since arriving in Kathmandu. So let's just settle into this scene now, I think. Pick it up right where we left off.
So Peter is currently on the floor, curled up into a ball, but in the sitting position and hugging his knees and kind of rocking back and forth.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Hey there, Chief. It's just a memory. Memories can't hurt you.
He doesn't hear you.
Well, the kid's gonna have to learn eventually. That's why he was sent, right?
Chin up there, bucko. That's no way for the son of the leadership of Brazil to act. Now, what would your father say?
Probably something
Ha-
crazy.
Calloway, understanding children, gets down to uh Peter's level. Hey, bud.
What?
Just
What? What? What?
just a scary memory. It's not yours. They're not after you. I ain't gonna let them hurt you. You know that. Chin up. Not gonna happen to you. Okay? Not as long as I'm breathing, and I can breathe for a long time. Okay? Take a deep breath. You got this, champ.
All right, with all the niceties over, Gabriel's gonna sit on the floor and kind of cross his legs, and he's going to try to scry to the stargazer Tashi, see if he can make that connection.
Okay. Fans, Peter just rolled a 5 success willpower roll to attempt to pull out of the terror of the memory.
Uh, yeah, I'm gonna say with 5 successes, you are probably able to start compartmentalizing trauma with that roll. Uh, very 1960s mental health that I just got to witness. It made me deeply uncomfortable, but you pack that away.
We're gonna help those people, okay, champ? Got this.
That might be what you cling to. You can save them.
Okay.
Calloway will help Peter up out of the fetal position, help dust him off, scruff his hair a little bit, go back to Gabriel because, again, Father Calloway has some words for the thing in the driver's seat.
Calloway's just making assumptions based off what some crazy old man said.
Just a minute. Deva and I wasn't told by my avatar. I know the opposite of that coin. Nice try. Deva is mentioned several times in the Bible.
Maybe. Could be a
It
nickname.
should also be pointed out that Deva is also a Hindu word for an angelic being, a higher being. It also does appear in the Bible as a name for an angel. But he could have also just been calling him a demon of some kind.
I mean, he's an entropy mage, and they're
Yeah, it doesn't-
naturally dark. Yeah. But no, yeah, I will try to do this scry on Taisho, the Japanese stargazer. And all right, the difficulty for that is varied. If it's just using a mortal's name or a physical possession, it's difficulty 8. If it's a true name, it's difficulty 6. So,
It's gonna be starting out at an 8.
righty.
There is a difficulty modifier making it 11.
Ah! Wow. Okay. So, max difficulty is 10, right?
Max
So-
difficulty is 10, but you will also need an extra success.
Yes, you need to.
Yeah, still 110 gets you the minimum success because 110 is worth 2 successes.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
that does do it for you. But yeah, the difficulties above 10 just mean you need more successes.
Yeah, I'll be using a willpower on this one for sure. Come on to once. Oh,
Yeah, you still did it.
yeah, I still did it. Oh,
No.
rough.
Succeed. Barely. You got exactly what you needed to get.
All right, so with that, 2 successes or 3 successes. It's 2 successes, right?
What does your scrying look like? Paint me a picture. How are you doing it?
Well, so this is like full on demon, but it's gonna appear like he's meditating to just put up the farce. So he's sitting there, legs crossed, holding on to one of Colt's necklaces that he would use for his entropy magic, and rubbing it. But realistically, in his head, all he's doing is calling out for the subject's name and trying to establish that connection.
Okay, read me this power, I guess.
Using a mortal's name
Right,
or physical possession with 2 successes, because one of them gets negated with the 11. Expands the expands the visual sphere of the subject from distance in yards equal to the Scourge's faith score. My faith score is 10, so multiplied 10.
So you have 20 yards.
Yes, around this person I can see.
And do you just see it in your mind? How does this power work for you? How does it manifest?
Yes, I just see it in my mind as if I'm like staring from like an eagle's point of view.
So the divine point of view.
Correct.
Beneath you is a room with dozens of large tubes, mostly made of glass, but capped on both ends with machinery attached to them, filled with dark fluid. There are things moving in those vats in each of these individual tubes, large enough to house an Arun in their war form. You get closer. Your vision enlarging the image in your mind until it's like you're standing in this room. All of these vats have something in them. Floating. You catch a shot of a full Garu. Fuck, I'm forgetting their big form. God damn it.
Krynos.
Kranos.
The Krynos form. Thank you. God. With tubes, like it's been intubated. There's a full mask on its massive snout. Uh, one of its eyes is open with just this liquid sloshing around in it. But its chest is moving. His fur, you think, is probably like a whitish gray. His eyes are silver. Every other body is the same. Some of them normal humans, some of them not. There's a wolf in one. There's some sort of desiccated body in another one that you're fairly certain looks like more like a corpse than anything else, but it's moving too, just like the others, kind of. All of these tanks have a supernatural being in them, and you can see all of them in this room because you got 20 yards. It's a huge area.
With that, do I notice any like symbols on the vats or any like markings that would indicate a group's ownership of this?
Like some sort of corporate marking?
Yeah.
Give me. God, what do I want you to roll for that? Deliver the main sheet.
Perception, investigation, perception, awareness, alertness.
Do investigation for me, yes.
Will the unseen specialty work?
Perception, investigation, unseen. No, not really.
Okay. Difficulty?
Standard 6.
Seven successes with 7 die.
Okay, let's see.
Watched it.
Cool. Yeah, you do. There's a logo. There's no like tagline, and it seems less like a logo and more like an icon,
Okay.
and it appears stamped on everything. Uh, it's a dozen like concentric rings all inside of one another, but forming like a perfect geometric design in the impression that it's on everything. It is painfully symmetrical.
All right. Well, I'm going to hold that scry for my 10 turns and wait and see if I see like any doctors or anything approach throughout the facility. But if not, I'll cut it at the end of the 10 rounds.
10 turns. That is, if we use cinematic rounds time, about 10 minutes. So I'm going to let you roll a d10. If you get above a 7, you'll get something else. I fucking hate you being in my games. I don't.
The luck of the die.
The
The
worst
door.
part,
Yes. No, go ahead.
the worst part is you gave him a high number knowing that you were trying.
I mean, I gotta at least give the opportunities most of the time.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I The door opens and closes. Someone comes in and seems to be checking over the machinery. There is a clipboard in their hand. Uh, how do I explain this? They are in very finely tailored, uh, perfectly fitted uniforms. Uh, Black, very sleek. Uh, there are strange sunglasses over their eyes, and their facial shape and body structure is just kind of androgynous in general. Uh, Close cut, like hair, like a high and tight that's gotten a little long, but is still like perfectly slicked back. They are also, I would say, painfully stuck up looking. They don't say anything. You can't read the language that is on the clipboard. I see you making the "but do I want to try something" face, Colton. So if you want to try something, pitch it.
I was gonna try to use the translate evocation, but it's understand the speech of each affected individual, not
Which
the
you could
written
certainly
language.
probe their mind.
Can I as a demon?
Not as a demon.
Oh.
Well,
Hmm.
if you have the appropriate powers, you could. But you know there are several mages here who are apparently skilled in mind magic.
I will allow them to try to connect through and see.
Who's who you allow to connect through you?
Yeah,
Not
and
you.
how
You
do you
can't touch me.
proposition that? So we cut back now into the room where you're meditating to scry. How are you inviting them in? And who?
I will momentarily let Gabriel take over. Volume is a bit quiet. Thank you for letting us know. I will let Gabriel take over for just a moment to ping Lieutenant Edwards with his 1 point in mind. And ask him if he would be able to reach out through himself. Vampires! Actually, we
Hi,
don't have any
Vancouver.
vampires this time, Vancouver.
There are no vampires this time.
I think if I heard right, you were looking for. Oh, you're meditating. Well, and then I'll like saddle up behind him and put my hands on his head, and then join him in his mindscape.
No,
It's
I
just
also do like the vampires.
So, Gabriel Kraft, you are bringing people into your mindscape.
Yep.
Paint word pictures for us, bud. This is all you. It's your mind.
So yeah, when Lieutenant Edwards enters the mind of Gabriel Kraft, fuck it, we'll go full cliche. It's in a dark, like, clouded office space. Kind of resembles Gabriel's old bedroom, with all of the actual touches and tinges of it being burnt down, creating that dark ambience. And Gabriel's sitting in a chair, just kind of watching out through a window, shattered, but what he can see right now is actually the visuals of Alabaster in his meditation through his scry. And he's welcoming Lieutenant Edwards to come sit back and view through the window with him.
Please call me Eugene. I'm traipsing through your gray matter here, and you see him, and in his mental state, there's like an over image over him that you can't quite see through, and the over images of just this like prototypical American male, and he'll walk up to the window and he'll say, "Well, it might help to clean up a little bit in here. It's a little bit of a mess."
It is. My avatar wishes to show you something. Would you be able to prod in and see what they are doing at this location?
I'm not afraid to try.
You're given some aloe for the burn about your head being a mess. That was some backhanded shit.
It was mean. You didn't have to say that.
I could have fixed it.
I love the 1960s like just behavior patterns though. It's horrifying. Carry on.
So I guess I'm looking through this shattered window, and
And you are now seeing everything that I previously described to Gabriel.
okay.
These tubes filled with creatures of all sorts of kinds. This person walking through with a clipboard, checking on their vitals with some sort of language on the clipboard. It's not one you recognize. It looks numerical.
I will reach for a piece of paper in Craft's mind and then try and project myself to see through this being's eyes and then just write down what I see. I believe that's mind 3 to see through another's eyes.
Okay, so you're trying to like catch a side glimpse of how he sees it, like, and that will translate into your head as a translated document.
And I will scribe it as a memory in Craft's mind and not my own, just because it's unnecessary and fun.
I dig it. This is gonna be wildly difficult, though.
Well, no, I'm not in my mind palace, right? Like, I'm not in my dements. So,
I know, yeah. You're in someone else's looking through a window in their mind into someone else's mind that's scrying on someone else's mind.
I actually think I can pull up all the difficulties for that.
So
It's
we're just
Mindception.
it's this is a wild mental landscape that we are currently finding ourselves in. So it will just be starting at a difficulty of 10. Just flat out 10. I don't need any extra successes.
I'll use a willpower.
Excellent. So we're going to succeed any way we go about it.
I get the automatic success.
Excellent. It's weird. It is a medical chart. You've seen them before at hospitals, but it translates into a bunch of fancy academic words in English, mostly medical jargon, uh, that you understand are probably a list of chemicals and ingredients and whatnot that they are using with these supernaturals, but you don't really understand what they are beyond that.
And again, I'm not capturing this thought. Craft is.
Nope. Yeah, no, it's on the piece of paper. You've given it to him. You've succeeded.
I could try and push for a location, but I don't know. This is one of the worst games of telegraph I've ever played.
No, Eugene, I think this document will do just fine. If we can identify where they are getting these chemicals from, it'll create a path. We just have to start looking where deliveries for these things might be going.
Eugene will nod at him and put a hand on his shoulder. And hey, just between you and me, I won't let any of the other gents know about the state of this place. And if you want help cleaning it up, I'm happy to roll up my sleeves and pitch in.
I am content with it for now. Thank you, Eugene.
Oh, one of these days I'll have to invite you over into my head. You should see it, not a blade of grass askew.
Sounds orderly.
Well, an orderly mind is the key to an orderly life.
I have goosebumps because
Yeah.
your head has to be such a nightmare.
Just a minute. I know. In my mind, it's Saints Row 4 or 5 when they're in the projection and they put him in the happy place. All the grass is cut nicely.
We're eventually gonna have like a whole episode of just like The Cell,
Okay.
like the movie The Cell, in people's hides. This is still a horror time slot, okay?
Yep.
I love
I
the
was
spell and
reminding
have
you
been
all that
meaning
with
to
the
rewatch it.
twitching.
So thank you for putting that back on my radar. But
Oh, it's such a good movie. It holds up terrifyingly well still.
well, it's
I'll
because
have to check it
the
out.
focus on style as substance is just
Yeah,
incredible. But yeah, if it's not clear, Eugene's got some problems.
oh, it is. You
clear.
describing not a blade of grass out of place literally gave me chills.
Well, with that, Eugene, I would ask that you leave my mind.
Au revoir. I think that's how they say it. And then he'll just wink out with a snap.
And with
And
that,
I'd also say, as he winks out, some like hairs on the back of your neck that you didn't even realize were standing up fall down, and the like pressure in the room decreases.
You're both also like tertiarily aware, like that the person you briefly made contact with, whose like optical image you copied, they're enlightened. I don't know if that's what Eugene would call it, but you feel a power in them that is not unlike yours, but also very different.
well, I'll relinquish control back to Alabaster, and Alabaster will actually cut the ties to Toyoshi, the
Get
Stargazer.
any? Get anything?
Taisho?
Taisho, that one.
Taisho. I couldn't remember my own NPC's name. Thank you.
That's why all my NPCs are named Steve. Variation.
And
Little
Bob.
Steve, little Steve. It just
Stefan.
really cuts down on the memory load.
Bob, Bobby, Robert, Bill, William.
I do recycle some NPC names because that is just easier sometimes.
Get anything?
I got a list of chemicals that they are using to house these
You have
creatures in their
name-
cells.
Do you have names of these chemicals?
Yes. And he'll go
Mm.
find a piece of paper and start writing them down.
I'd like to make a medical check to figure out what those chemicals are.
I'd love you to. An intelligence medicine.
Cool. Does the specialty of magical healing apply here?
You know, yes, actually.
Oh.
Go once.
Jesus Christ.
That's okay. I helped. We got 3 successes together.
Can I also make a Greymare check to see if they're magical in nature? Any of these components?
Absolutely.
I just note the thing that I built into and I still get 0 successes.
I don't know what to tell you.
I know it was the same way with
So they are magical. Almost every one of these chemicals, they're compounds. They're magical compounds. Or not magical compounds. They're scientific compounds. And then you have this moment because you're a fae where you kind of have this little aneurysm at the front of your brain as the sheer amount of banality in those compounds assails your mind. You're just like, that sucks.
Uh, so such a boring use of this.
They are sucking supernaturals dry of that which makes them supernatural. Those vats are breaking them down into their key components.
Oh, and Calloway now has like the biggest like as he's putting together the math with everyone's help, like he is slowly sinking into like more and more. Oh, this is awful. What could they do with liquid us?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is most foul. We should definitely get a hold of them
Yeah, we
They,
gotta.
they,
sooner than later.
they
Yeah,
could do a lot of things with liquid us. Um, if if you sacrifice it right, it's a path to power.
yeah. That's a big problem.
I
Um,
just don't really like those who experiment on others, and I think we should shut that down.
we gotta go find that place, which means we gotta go talk to people of the mountain. We can't wait to follow the chemical trails because part of these are supernatural compounds.
Well, it's science.
Supernatural compounds or not, materials still need to be shipped.
Shipped. Is there a trading hub here? Not like a standard trading hub, but like a train yard or something?
In Kathmandu,
Mm-hmm.
there's a whole market district.
Yeah, but if they're
What are you looking
taking,
for?
I'm mostly looking for like a train yard or something to get a ton of these components. Like a small market shop would like if they have multiple of us in vats, they're not buying small quantities of what they need.
No, they are not.
Which
There are
go for it.
train yards, yes, where trade comes in and out of the area.
Means we need to get in there and find manifests, and then we could probably find where they're getting these supplies. Also, maybe who they're sending these supplies to, and when then where they pick them up at. If they don't just pick them up from the train yard.
Well, two things. We need to find another safe house.
Well, I think that this one is now protected. Whatever they did.
Yes, but if they're aware that their spy is no longer paying attention or providing back information, then they will come to figure out why.
Wouldn't that be a good way to capture some of them?
That's my exact thought. If we can't find the information from the train yard, we can at least get it directly from somebody's mouth.
So, you have several proposed plans so far. Which one are we doing? Or are we trying all of them?
That's the. Do we have anybody that specializes in breaking and entering?
You have
Ye-
such
Yes,
gas.
you do.
yes, you do.
Okay. So that's going to help with getting at least into the train yard and getting the things that we need there.
Wait, is Peter specialized in that?
I'm going
Yes,
to
yes,
Okay.
he is.
I'm going to assume that the 12-year-old kid is, and I'm not going to question it. I know who his parents are. I'm not going to question it.
If y'all want to set up a trap here, Connor, I would recommend putting down a few more of those, what you call them, runes.
They're a bit of my art, but yeah, But you can definitely put some more. Give us a
Only
bit of that edge.
okay. Who's going with Peter? I don't want him to go alone if they know we're here.
You
I'll
don't
take.
want the 12-year-old kid to go breaking it on his own in Kathmandu.
No.
I'll
The
escort the
blonde-haired,
kid.
blue-eyed American kid.
Now, the question is, is Gabriel more focused to help capturing somebody?
No. Gabriel would 100% not want to be in the room
Okay.
when hunters pop in. Nope. He's gonna go
That's
help the kid break into the train yard.
okay, because Father Calloway has to play medic. I use in air quotes combat medic.
Okay, so
So that
the plan
leaves
is for 3 of you to go to the train station so far.
well, we haven't heard from Eugene. Is Eugene wanting to go to the train station to help?
I mean,
Or is
if a
he
big
down?
enough group is going, he'll go. But I think like having somebody here who can sense people coming is probably. You know what? I'm going to stay and defend the house.
Okay, so we have 3 staying to defend the house, 2 going to the train yard. Is what I'm gathering.
Works for me.
Which does make sense. A smaller group breaking into somewhere is far less likely to get spotted than a bigger group.
Okay. Let's, I think, start with the smaller group. Gabriel, Peter, heading to the train station. Right?
Correct.
Indeed.
Are we going after dark? Are we going during the day and getting into places we're not supposed to? How are we going about this?
I guess it kind of depends on the time of day that is going on now, because I don't want to sit here and delay and let them get to that house and then decide to want to leave while they're approaching. So what time of day is it
Okay.
right now?
I will honestly say it is late afternoon. You can choose whether you want to go during the day or wait an hour and go after dark.
I
Take
think
your
just
pick.
I think just to put up appearances, we'll walk around the city like we're touring it for an hour instead of going directly to the train station. And I'll be keeping an eye out to see if we're being followed.
Also, Godmother says that if you're gonna do a successful break-in, you should case the joint first. So maybe we should walk around it and like look at potential entrances and you know see what kind of guards they have and that kind of thing.
I thought, I'm going to be totally honest, I thought we were all going to be the bad influences on Peter. I forget that he has an actual fairy godmother.
Yes.
Oh, were we assuming that fairy godmother is godmother and not mom? Because I
Uh,
was assuming godmother was some sort of stealthy vampirus.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is also a fairy godmother as well. And of course, the archfey mother.
and the aunt that's a vampire. Yeah, no, this kid is.
Set up for success in life.
Yeah, yep,
Very much so, yes.
yep, yep. Again, I thought we were all going to be the terrible influences, and then I remembered.
There are several trains in the station already. There is a couple of more rides just to give you an idea of busyness. Only one of them is a passenger train. The others are cargo trains passing through the area, stopping to pick up coal, fuel, whatever they need to keep going. It's Nepal in the 60s. The the thing is, one of the trains looks newer. It looks nicer. It looks a little sleeker. And there's that symbol pressed into the metal of one of the bay doors of one of the 6 cars attached to this train. And now I'd love just a wits roll from Colt and Peter. Not Colt, sorry, Gabriel.
Peter failed.
One success.
Peter's right about casing the joint. Absolutely right. The problem is that the place you need to case is not the train station itself. It's where that train is going. That is a company car, which means they have their own private track, which means they don't go through local businesses. They're shipping themselves. And then you hear the sound of a whistle and the chug of the engines of the train warming up. You have maybe a minute before that train leaves station. The two of you could get on it if you ran. You don't know when the next one will be. And now I throw the ball back to the two of you.
I'm on the lookout for people who are trying to find us, and being on the lookout for Eugene probably consists of sort of meditating and trying to sense perceptions in an area around the house with
Okay.
a specific focus on thoughts of the house or its occupants. Some form of mind effect. I'm having trouble trying to figure out the distance piece. I don't think I want to do the whole city, but an area around the house sufficient to give us enough warning to prepare for combat is probably the right amount.
So a perimeter ring of mental energy with a ping of hostility being the trigger for the alarm.
Yeah.
Make it a difficulty of 7. Uh, give me a roll. And while you're rolling that out, Gabriel, Peter, have you decided what you're gonna do?
We're currently discussing that, so please come back to us.
A polite 5 successes.
Polite 5 successes. Yeah, tell me what you want this to look and feel like. You absolutely succeed.
Again, he'll sort of um most of this would be happening on the sort of mental astral plane, right? So he's going to pull out of his head and sort of move it up far enough that he can look at a sufficient distance, um, and he'll just be sort of rapid eye movement, um, peeking through people's heads, just surface thoughts, like what are they focused on, and if it's not what he's looking for, he moves right on. And if you were looking at him sitting there cross-legged in the room, you're just going to see his eyes open, just blinking back and forth, like he's in some sort of REM state, but with his eyes open, not focused on anything.
I think with 5 successes, you also detect the presence of Munesh. And like there are some very minor supernaturals in proximity to you. People who have like the tiniest bit of werewolf blood and are kinfolk, the people who have the tiniest bit of changeling blood. That guy's a ghoul. You can't really hear their true thoughts. You rolled high enough to know that he is disguising their thoughts as mundane things being triggered just by what they're seeing. The mental magic that you sense this man using across most of the city to protect supernaturals in it is insanely fine and powerful work. And you get the impression that there's a delightful Hindi man smiling and giving you a thumbs up just from his couch cushion as he senses you.
To Connor, because Eugene is currently in his mental mind space, he sees Father Calloway go to the small table that's near here and pulls out a small bag from in his medic pouch, sets the medic pouch down, opens it up, and proceeds to wrap his hands like a boxer does. But what's on these wraps are Old Testament verses. As Father takes off his inside the building where it's slightly warm, takes off his shirt, ties it around him, and you see scriptures of Old Testaments tattooed on his body. As this man proceeds to start keeping enough light so he can see and keep warm, but making shadows so he can use his military training if anybody comes through that door to the best of his capabilities.
It is insanely hardcore.
Edge Lord.
Yes.
Old
That's a
Catholic
fine bit of
grandfather,
ink.
tatted and ripped. You are Catholic Master Roshi.
Yes.
That image will never leave my head now. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. It exists in my head now too, so I thought I would share.
I have an old character who, again, going way back, was a battle nun in a creepypasta.
Fucking love battle nuns.
Not Candlekeep. Yeah, but an old battle nun.
There's a fucking Netflix show called The Nuns or something like that, I think.
Yes,
Cut
it's called
so many bad
called The
blood.
Nun. Yeah.
So good, so awful, but so amazing. Demon fighting nuns. I can't. It's trope, and I love it, and I don't feel bad about it.
Same. That's why I did this. And the what is tattooed on him in verses is Revelations.
Of course, of course. There's gonna be a Da Vinci
Worst book
Code
of the
episode.
Bible.
I mean, that's not wrong. Uh,
Like, me and Peter have come to a decision.
Wonderful. What's that decision?
We're gonna hop on the train to nowhere together.
I believe the word is fuck it we ball.
Fuck it, we ball.
Amazing.
We had a telepathic conversation about our capabilities and think we can do it.
Give me Dex athletics checks.
I want you both to do this.
Will cat-like balance apply for boarding a train?
Absolutely.
Oh.
Three successes.
Amazing.
3 successes as
You
well.
are both for various reasons experienced in running and jumping on the back of a train as it's leaving a station. I guess you both make it spectacularly onto the back car like in a fucking movie as this train pulls out of the station.
So once we've boarded, I would like to pull out my pocket mirror and a marker, and I'm going to draw some esoteric symbols on myself, and then I'm going to use those as the basis for a cloaking spell. I'm going to cast with 2 in forces and 2 in entropy to make myself unnoticed and invisible.
Okay. Give me an narrative roll.
What's my base
We're gonna
difficulty?
start this. We're gonna start this at a difficulty of 9. Reality seems uncomfortably fixed on this train.
I got 2 successes on a 2 die pool. I feel very impressed with myself.
Yeah, it's great. What's it look like? He just boop gone from view.
Yeah. So when the spell actually goes off, the markings that I put on myself will kind of soak into my skin, and I'll wink out. But also the entropy effect makes people not even notice where I'm at. Like, so like if I make a sound, they don't hear that either.
Excellent. So Gabriel, the child, fully fucking vanishes.
But the Malk is still sitting there.
Tail flopping back and forth. It's what everyone wants to see, a child that can turn invisible.
Yeah, so as he does that, is there like a light or something on this cart? A train, like a light bulb or something?
There is a little light on the outside, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and extinguish that. With a swift crack.
Oh, cool. Vandalism. Got it.
And then I'm going to find a very dark corner and go into my apocalypse form.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I get to
You want
explain
to
that now.
describe that? Yeah. Describe that to the 12-year-old and the milk.
Yeah. So he doesn't have his wings right now, but everybody's seen Harry
sure.
Potter and like the Dementors. Think that, but the robes are a little more put together and less torn apart and ripped apart. I guess more
Gravity
like
design.
the yeah, very very intricately designed, but it's the same like dark black as the tattoo that is on his chest, and he's cloaked, and there's like a slight mist of smoke that just wraps around him, and he's gonna go step back into the shadow of the cart. And then I will roll my stealth check.
Yeah,
Is
so
is
you fully see that, Peter.
Yeah.
is
Edge Lord.
is there a door on the back of this car?
There is, yes.
Is it locked?
It is. It is beneath the light that was just smashed out. Since we haven't... Here's the image. Sans wings. Sans.
You look creepy.
It was funny. Fuckers laughing at my jokes. It's not. I'm swinging at really bad ones tonight.
Yeah, the one time I roll ones is on the fucking stealth check at fucking difficulty 4.
Oh, there's...
I don't want to hear it. I got 0 successes on the medicine thing that I'm good at.
I know.
I don't want to hear it from you.
You'll just delve into the shadow.
Yeah, you both just sort of fade from view. You still got a success. There's no one out here to see you. You are fully hidden in the night, like Batman. But the door, as previously said, is locked.
I would like to pick the lock.
Phenomenal. I'd love a legerdemain check from you.
Actually, in modern, it's larceny.
Larceny, excuse me. Thank you. We've
But,
done so much Dark Ages recently.
Yes.
And will the specialty of quick hands apply to this?
Quick is not what I associate with lockpicking. Steady, precise.
Okay.
No, I don't think so. Especially since you are also on a train that is rumbling.
2 successes.
2 successes is still enough. The locks on this train are really good, better than any of the trains you broke into back home, because it's the only way I can figure out why you're so good at doing this.
I'm starting to put the mental picture together that Peter wasn't sent on this mission to get life experience, is to get out of his parents' hair.
Yeah, to give Walter and Tish a vacation. You
Yes.
guys are babysitters.
Yes.
No, when I'm at home, I also have a babysitter. I'm basically being trained by my godmother, who is fucking ruthless.
True.
Again,
True.
that still doesn't mean anything.
Oh,
Oh,
I
he
love
broke into the he broke
story.
into the train again this week, Tish.
Oh, did he? Peter came home in handcuffs for the first time at like 10 years old.
Old. In front of his dad and mom, proceeded to get out of them and hand dad the handcuffs.
Okay, is it how is it inside the door? Is it a light car? Is it a dark car?
My brain has short circuited. Someone please remind me of exactly what we were doing.
He just picked the lock into the train car.
Pick the lock into the drink card. Yes, the door slides open. You see rows of shelves kind of splitting down this train car on either side that are packed full of boxes, most of them with various logos on them. Uh, some of them you might recognize, some of them you don't. A lot of them are uncomfortable. It's like looking at a 4K television. They're uncomfortably real. A lot of the symbols. That's all you see in this car. Unless you want to start going through boxes.
All right, Gabriel, we're in. We're hidden. What do you want to do now?
It's a great question.
Didn't think that far ahead.
Well, I think we figure out where this is going.
Okay. And I'm gonna sit down, and you're gonna see the milk spur start kind of getting pushed down. It's pretty obvious that the kid sat down and started petting his cat, but he's still invisible.
The mouth starts purring, staring directly at you, Gabriel. And not like in a fun, like slow blinking way, just like an unblinking
Uneasiness.
And the Malk is clearly not looking at Gabriel.
Yeah,
It's staring at the bird.
Oh yeah, I guess I will assume that I dropped my apocalyptic form once we went inside.
Sure.
And didn't find bad guys with machine guns.
Not in the first car. No, there are several more cars. Are we just hunkering down in the storage car? And taking a ride?
Why, yeah, I think that's actually the best play is to do that, and then once we're approaching like a compound or something, ditch the train cart. That way we don't get rode in, but find their base camp,
Okay, so you want to try and jump off the back of the train once they're getting close to where they're going.
Yeah, and then when I do it, I'll assume my apocalyptic form with the wings and glide us to safety.
I
Sure,
I
sure.
I
How
think I should
expensive
stay
that
on.
went.
I think I should stay on the train. For when it gets parked. Because I can stay sneaky and I'm a kid and I'm small and it's easy for me to kind of move around and watch stuff. Um, so I think I should do that.
Well, that could work, but there's also the possibility that they have a way to spot you even through your magics.
I'm sneaky even without the magics. I'm not that good at the magics. I'm much better at just being a kid.
Nah, I can't abandon you here. If we're gonna stow away, we'll stow away together.
Hang out then in the storage car. All right. We'll get back to you. It is a long ride up the mountains. Going back to Kathmandu, an hour down the snow-capped mountains that the train is currently climbing up, up, and away through. We're preparing for an incoming assault. Father Calloway is prepared.
Yes.
What about Connor? What's Connor doing?
Well, Connor will first check with Zashi.
Yes.
Oh, Zashi, I think some of those men with black masks will be heading back, and there'll be a bit of trouble within you. I was thinking about making a few adjustments to you, make you a little bit more defensible. Would you be minding that?
She kind of sits up from the floorboards of the house, like so she's just like half a torso of the blue-skinned girl, uh, kind of just sticking up out of the floor. Um, I would like to not be under their control again. So if anything you do will help with that, please do it.
Okay. Then I'll do my best not to break anything, but I may have to get pretty deep inside you.
Oh
Phrasing.
my. Um,
And do
the
we have
color of
a
her blue cheeks darkens to a darker blue.
but do we have any time frame of when we would expect them, or we're just preparing just in case?
I think it's a just in case sort of dealio.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, I will be working on various areas, reinforcing the windows, doorways, and then adding various junctions in the floor that will uh, kind of depress and trip them up or confuse them. And I mean, initially, I was thinking about making a like battle house body, but that's like way more time consuming.
Gonna home alone them.
Yeah, but do some simple traps and things to trip them up if they're rushing us.
Oh, great. So it's the Master Roshi priest in a Home Alone house with military training. What could go wrong?
Yes. While you're doing this, a blushing Kashi gives you a glamour.
Oh,
She kind of appears out of the floor. A lot of people seeing this, like with the half sight of a mortal, might be truly terrified. Because this would be an absolutely horrible thing to just witness someone doing. Uh, she comes up out of the floor and just offers you this little handful of prismatic light.
all right. Thanks, Zashi. This will come in handy.
Thank you, Connor. I hope so. And then she
Never,
leaves the house.
never thought I'd watch somebody talk dirty to a house.
Welcome
Hey,
to the
there's
world of darkness.
changelings. There's changelings happening and spirits happening. Okay,
And then we get to the romantic music in the playlist.
yeah. So I mean, he's a knocker. He could have romance with an inanimate object. She's got a spirit. I guess it's a spirit. So everyone's kind of preparing for, it sounds like, a tactical hit squad to come busting through the door. And wouldn't you know it, maybe 40 minutes later, there's a ping of several hostiles approaching. You got 5 successes on your mind check, and between your early warning system and Manesh doing his best to keep them from finding your location with his own field to protect supernaturals, there are a dozen people coming swiftly and in tight enough and perfect enough formations, Lieutenant Edwards, that you know that they are at least paramilitary trained, if not even better than that.
Do I have a count?
A dozen are
There,
already within range.
there are 12 of them. They'll be here in minutes. Prepare yourselves. He'll say out loud, and then yeah, I'm gonna start preparing some psychic pain blast mojo to unleash on the first person that comes through the door.
I'm gonna take one from the Home Alone thing, and I want to put a let me read this. Harm living being. Yeah, I want to put a harm spell on whoever touches the door.
Okay.
I will draw my short sword and revolver, one in each hand. And I will nickname the floor in front of the door loosey goosey to make it
Okay.
more slippery, I guess. Unstable
Lucy
flooring.
the floorboard. I love changelings. All of you, though, do something in common. You reach for your powers. And you feel it when they dampen almost. But it's not really a dampening per se. It's not like a blanket has been thrown over them. It is like the rules and the laws of your reality have come into a level of focus you didn't know was possible. I don't know if anyone here wears corrective lenses, but like that moment when you put on like a brand new pair of prescription glasses and everything looks clearer than it has in months or years, but
Yeah.
you feel reality solidify. Everyone's difficulties for supernatural effects are going to be at a difficulty of 10. Moving away from the now surrounded house, you will still have a couple of rounds if you want to try and run. But when we're reaching the moment of that climax where that decision has to be made now, or you will be trapped and surrounded by 2 hit squads of supernatural hunters. We go back to the train. An hour and 30 minutes up the Himalayan mountains. And the door at the end of the car that slides open as the 2 guards come in to inspect the car on their rounds. And that's where we're going to call game for the night. Because we do not have time to get into a whole ass combat.
No, definitely not.
We split the party!
Yeah.
Yay!
First session. First thing you do.
Not only did we split the party, we put half the party on a high-speed train, rapidly leaving Kathmandu, and told no one.
We did.
I love all of you so much. One for being here. One for some phenomenal RP tonight, guys. You're not going to get the one for danger this week, but I am going to give everyone an extra XP for some very clever ideas and some sheer fucking moxie. I kind of guessed that dangling the bait of the train was leaving would get Colton and Justin on that train.
100%.
I knew what giving you a time limit of the trains leaving was going to cause. I did that on purpose. I'm glad you took the bait. Could have been other trains. So base of 3 XP plus shoutouts. Who's ready to give their shoutouts?
I'll give my first one to Zaraj or Connor for awakening the house, is what I'll call it. Give it the good old
Awakening the
Fey touch.
The deep Fey touch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then the second one for RJ or Eugene for making fun of my brain while in it. That's kind of fucked up.
The shade.
The shade that was thrown in the shady house.
Also Scorched House.
Scorched, yep.
But we all know Gabriel's past. Gabriel's messy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But those are mine.
Is it 2 or 3?
It's 2. We're only 5 people for this one. I
Wait,
also really enjoyed the description of Gabriel's mind.
Gabriel's Bessie?
What?
Said messy.
Oh, Messi. Okay, I swear I heard Bessie, and I'm like, wait a minute, the cow?
No, I am not the god cow.
God cow.
Maybe Messi's been elevated to that status during.
I
Beef is
will.
forbidden in Brazil, which has made all the Brazilian ranchers furious.
I did have a thought when building characters for this session of playing awakened like changeling Bessie.
I think Bessie would be best as a werecow.
Werecow.
The one and
Were
only
cow.
of his existence. Walter decided that Bessie wasn't good enough, so he made it a werecow.
So
Bessie is
So-
a cow. Bessie is a cow who is a werecow. She can turn into a different kind of
Yeah,
better, more
it's like
magical
being a
cow.
Lucas-born werewolf.
I was about to say is Walter found the one little piece left of Adam and turned Bessie into a werecow. So my 2 shoutouts go to Gabriel for avoiding Calloway's conversation.
Just
And
completely sidestepped that whole
And
thing.
+1 to Lieutenant Eugene for giving me shivers.
Oh god, I know. Describing your internal mind, like, ugh. I
He's
cannot
fun.
wait to
I'm
go
having
there.
so much fun. I can't even tell you. Like, it's. I hope my indictment of this archetype is clear in how I'm playing it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's the 1960s. We all said that some things might be said. We're all going to be grown-ups about it. We're in the 1960s.
Yeah.
It's just RP.
Well, and again, I'm not playing it as virtuous. I'm playing it as the creepy creep show that it fucking is. So
Yes, you're doing amazing at it.
Amazing. That's why I gave you the +1. It's awful. It's awfully amazing.
I'm loving it, personally.
All right, mine are going to go to the first one to Father Calloway for talking the kid down. And my second one's going to go to Lieutenant Edwards for adventure lunch.
Adventure lunch.
with much respect to the fine people of Tibet, I love a momo. Shout out to Tibetan cuisine. I'm giving +1
Yes, it's delicious.
to Peter for being just a little stinker with a huge big backstory of why he's such a creepy child, and I love it. And I'm giving +1 to not even Connor, but to Ziraj for the Irish accent, and just it's something
So
that I
good.
can't
So good.
sustain for a very long period of time. And you're crushing it, and you should be told that you're crushing it.
You're even getting
okay.
like the appropriate like tongue rolls in too for the accent, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's very good, and yeah.
Okay. And then I will give mine to Peter for having the childlike logic to stay on the train, completely alone except for his falcon. And +1 for Calloway for his total badass scripture tattoo. This
Battle Roshi, let's go.
Battle Roshi. Yes, we had a bit of a slow start this week as we all kind of got back into characters. I know it had been a month since we did session 0, but I'm really glad we started. Because if we didn't start today, I was totally going to throw this game in the trash because I would have just lost complete interest in it.
Oh, I'm glad
glad
we
we did.
played it. This is gonna be a fun one.
I am very excited.
I so look forward to when we meet Eugene's breaking point. I can't wait.
We're not already there.
No.
God, no, this
Slow
is
burn.
session 1, and you all have so many things for me to just stab you with, incorporate into the story. I mean,
Two of the players are doing it already for you, me and Colton.
yeah.
It's
I told
I'm
you to
going
leave
to
it
be
alone.
I'm gonna be real with you. I can leave it alone. Callaway can leave it alone. But his avatar, which is avatar rating 5, cannot.
No.
Your avatar
not
is
for
gonna get you
long.
killed. Just saying.
We're gonna throw hands. I know it's gonna come.
Luckily, angels are not stupid and won't push you to do something you're not capable of doing yet.
Exactly.
But thank you everyone for joining us for World of Fractured Shadows. If you like what we do, please like, subscribe, follow us on everything. We got Twitch, YouTube, join our Discord. Anything you guys want to say?
Yeah.
Good night.
I hope you enjoyed.
Night.
Good night.
Night,
Good
night.
night, y'all.